Getting a few things set up on this back end. I'll be with you guys shortly. How you doing, Miss Q? Glad to have you on. I will be on in 1 second. It's night here. What do you call it? What are you in You're probably in Australia, Miss Q. Okay. Okay. Pretty good about that. It's night here. Is my mic distorting at all, Miss Q? I want to get that figured out before I come on. Let me know if that sounds good in the chat. I'll wait a second because you're on the other side of the world. Down under. I wonder why my Facebook is not connecting. It's weird. I'll have to figure that out later. It's too late for this one. All right. Yeah, that's not going to connect, so. 5 by 5. All right, sweet. Okay, let's get going. Welcome, everybody, to SJG Perspective. I did an unannounced stream. I was working my bet, trying to figure out why my restream. It's hard to restream broadcast out to several different platforms. And when I want to do a live event and Muhammad Allah, Muhammad Aloha, gave a Vegemite sandwich. Sweet. Anyways, it doesn't, I can set up, when I set up an event on YouTube where it gives a reminder that I'm starting, it doesn't, when I go on to restream, it doesn't make that one live. It makes a new one live, and then everyone waiting doesn't come into that one. So I got to figure out what's going on with that one. So what we're going to do tonight is, I had to do, I don't have to do, but I was planning on doing a few segments like I've been putting up the last few days, and some news segments. And as Muhammad Aloha Snack Bar can attest, a lot of times we just do free flow. I used to do some free flow streams where I would just read some news, and I read them cold. I haven't read the articles, but the headlines catch me, and I want to read them and just give my thoughts. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to actually use them as segments that I cut up later and put out as video segments. So we're just going to do a live recording session. I may take some, if I don't like the way I said something, I may take a cut on it. And then when I edit it, I'll edit it down a little bit. But you guys get to catch it live, which will be good. And then I'll read comments after each section. So I'm not going to read comments when I'm in the section or in the segment. I'll just do them afterwards. But then that's kind of how I think I'm going to do it. So Mo my ribs. She just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich. I don't know. Vegemite. Mohammed Aloha Snack Bar. Mo my ribs. How are you doing, man? He might have already jumped out. He jumps in and jumps out all the time. He is a bit of a, well, I don't want to say Middle Eastern troll, but something along those lines. And so he comes in and out at will, in between servicing his goats. And he'll jump in, he'll jump out. So that's just the way Muhammad Aloha Snack Bar runs. He's kind of a famous in some circles. You opening the lines. I might open the lines in a little bit here with a call in from you. I'm going to get through, do a couple segments here, and then I probably might do that. I might have you call me up on the Google Hangout, and we can get you on live for a little bit. But I want to actually record a couple of these segments, and who knows? Maybe I can take. I didn't really set it up though. It's probably fairly easy to pull you in. We'll see how it goes on that. But I do want to get you on here, actually, Mohammed, for a full length a full-length little show, and we'll talk about some Middle Eastern stuff and whatnot that's right up your alley. Cousins, brothers, the whole mix, how that all works out. So we'll do that. But I thought I would jump in here and we'll start reading this little article because this one's a doozy. I haven't read it, but just the title alone caught my attention. It says, feminist artist, or excuse me, not artist, feminist author pushes nude models for children to make them relaxed about their sexuality. So we're going to jump in and read this, but before we do, just please remember to hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and check me out on Parler, BitChute, and DLive. DLive is where I'm going to be streaming some future debates, and I think what I'm going to plan on doing also is on election night, streaming the election on DLive. If I try to do it on YouTube, they'll shut me down. So you guys should find me on DLive, SJG Perspective, and subscribe to me there. It's a great little that you can get an app for it on your phone, and it's a great little place to go because they don't have the censorship issues that YouTube seems to have. So, anyways, jumping in here. It says, feminist author pushes nude models for children to make them relaxed about sexuality because nothing screams children books, or nothing screams what we need to do to our children more than to make them relaxed about their sexuality when they're babies and they're young little kids. We need to let them relax about their sexuality because it's all about sexualizing our children. If you haven't read the memo, if you haven't got the new woke memo, it is important that like drag queens and that we have little, 6 and 7 and 8 year olds dressing up like drag queens and getting dollars, doing little strip teases for adults, having drag queens pose naked with kids. I mean, it's an important thing that's happening in our society, and we need to get behind it. You need to be more progressive because it really is something that is important. So, I mean, hey, writing a children's book how to have feminist sex. I mean, that's important for children to read. Am I right? Flo Perry, that can't be a real name, a feminist author based out of London, is pushing the idea that nude models should pose in front of children in order to make them more relaxed about sexual matters. Because we want to make children relaxed about sexual matters. That's important. Perry debated her position during an appearance on Good Morning Britain. So that's like Good Morning America. And I don't know what this is going to say, but I hope they pissed all over this. And I'm talking special kind of asparagus pissed all over this idea. Like, the kind where you just eat some asparagus and it just makes your pee really stinky. I hope that is what this article is going to tell us they did to this Flo Perry. Because that's what she needs. She needs an asparagus golden shower on this idea. On Good Morning Britain against journalist Mariella Frostrup. And you're going to find out about me. I mess up names all the time. It's just what I do. Who believes it is inappropriate to expose kids to gratuitous nudity. Well, that person's definitely not with the times and woke enough if she thinks it's gratuitous to expose kids to sexual stuff. That's just weird. We have to examine our own reaction to that and think, why do we have that reaction? Oh, okay, sorry. I missed a line. While appearing on the broadcast, Perry said, naked strangers is this big word. Nobody's going to be like, put my kids in form of naked strangers. I think they meant to say in front. We have to examine our own reactions to that and think, why do we have that reaction? The disgusting thing is, it's because nudity is so sexualized in our culture. And actually, if we were exposed to it in a different form, will it make us more relaxed about nudity and our own bodies and make us feel less self-conscious, she added. No, what it does is it desensitizes children to sexuality like you fake camo pedos, and the ones that are even out of the closet pedos want to do. It's what this psychotic leftist progressive, far leftist ideology thinks is okay and is being what is tolerant. We need tolerance. We need to breed tolerance into her and diversity, and we need to just breed this into our kids. It's about sexualizing and damaging our children and getting us one step closer to just coming out of the closet and adding to the alphabet, the LGBTQ alphabet, the P for pedo, or for same sex, or for what do they call it? Minor children attraction, MCA, or minor attraction syndrome, or whatever. They make some nice. They try to make some nice little sweet acronym or word about how being a pedo's okay. Being a pedo's okay, apparently, with these people. And to me, there's nothing in the world that makes this okay. And I think anybody who thinks that's okay should be locked up, quite frankly, or shipped to an island where they can just be by themselves. Just ship them off to an island. We don't need you in society if you think sexualizing our kids is an okay thing to do. We don't want you. We don't need you. Call me a bigot. I'll take the big B word. I'll be called a bigot. I don't give a shit if you call me a bigot, or if you call me closed-minded, or if you call me whatever it is you want to call me. If you think it's okay to sexualize kids, we don't need you around. Viewers of the program were not buying Perry's argument, thank God, and angrily responded on social media with a flood of posts against her stance to expose children to nude adults. Get the hippie woman that wants to exploit children off the TV. Her credentials need to be checked when she supports such a ridiculous and dangerous class. One viewer wrote, I'm an artist. I am happy for my kids to draw nudes, but when they are older. I was 17, 18 when I first started life drawings. Another viewer wrote, the nude paintings I have in my home, my kids still sneer at them and giggle. They're 9 years old. They have no contemplation yet on body image. Put a naked man and woman in front of a class, they would be laughing their heads off. You only have to mention a body part and they're off. A third viewer wrote, my 12-year-old daughter has said that her sexual class is more than adequate for teaching positive body image. A fourth viewer wrote, she also says she'd be extremely worried if a mom allowed her to sit in a room with a half-naked stranger. Fostrett put Perry in check with some common sense while debating with her on the topic, debating with her, on the topic during the popular British morning show. That last comment probably wasn't needed, my bad. At primary school age, it potentially isn't necessarily the most productive way to get them to think about body image, she said. There are all kinds of ways we can approach it, and I think talking is probably one of the key ones. The left is always devising new ways to sexualize children, from drag queen story hour to teen magazines promoting anal sex to masturbating lessons for 6-year-olds and much more. We'll have to pull some of those up. The left out to warp the souls of the children in their war to... The left is out, they forgot the word is. The left is out to warp the souls of the children in their war to destroy traditional morality. Amen to that. So we're all familiar with this little story, I'm pretty sure. We've seen it a million times. But this is just another example. Busted. Another drag queen sexual predator found grooming children in Texas elementary school. Look at that. How can anybody in their right GD mind think that it is in any way, shape, or form okay in any stretch of the imagination to do this? To promote your child to be a drag queen, but then, like, if you can see up here, I don't know if my cursor shows up. Yeah, it does. If you can see up here, to have him, who's dressed up like a her, posed with a full-on naked dude that has to pixelate his junk so it isn't a pornographic, shot. Because it went on some magazine. It went all over these different magazines and whatnot. He has to pixelate his junk, but it's okay for him to pose, being all dressed up like a woman. This dude that's got a sausage, he's got a penis, and he's going to be hanging out with this little 8-year-old or 7-year-old at the time, maybe 9-year-old little boy dressed up like a girl. And how do his parents, still have custody if they allow that to happen? It blows me away. Then you have these up here, these drag queens with little kids sitting on their laps, because they like little kids sitting on their laps. It's special. Another sexual predator has been found grooming children at a drag queen story hour. This story's old. It's about a month old. Another sexual predator has been found grooming children at a drag queen story hour events in Texas, this time at an elementary school in Austin. David Robinson, whose drag queen's name is Miss Kitty Litter. What the hell, too? Can you please, Miss Kitty Litter? I mean, it's fitting. It's fitting. You are equivalent to Kitty Litter. I mean, okay, I guess I can give you that. But Miss Kitty Litter, really? ATX, read stories to children at the black. And how do you say that? How do you like, all right, everybody sit down. Miss Kitty Litter's going to sit down and read us a story today. It's going to be super special. She's going to read us a story about the sexual, how to sexually pose with yourself to be encouraging proper body image and stuff. And it's going to be special. So just sit down. We'll let everyone sit on her lap when she's done. But you just sit down and enjoy this little time with this crazy person that's me. It's a male dressed up as a female. We're just trying to confuse the hell out of you and get you sexualized. That's what we're trying to do. So just sit down and enjoy it. Read stories to the children of the Blackshear Fine Arts Academy on October 7th. The school district apparently knew about Robinson's record as a sex offender before allowing him to speak to the children while cross-dressing as well. Robinson told school librarian Roger Grape, what the hell is with these names? Roger Grape? Oh, of course you're a librarian. Roger Grape that he feared he would not pass a background check because the guidelines for submission automatically disqualify me if the deferred adjudication for prostitution is considered a conviction. So I don't know if it's ethical to submit. According to internal documents within the school, I feel it's appropriate to throw a lisp in there anytime I'm talking about this stuff. Sorry. Oddly enough, he was allowed to speak to the children. The Austin Intermediate School District assured parents that Robinson was properly screened despite his history as a sex offender. Despite his history as a male prostitute dressed up like a woman that he got arrested for. Despite that, he's allowed to sit down and read drag queen story hour to the kids. And I'm the asshole because I think that's completely inappropriate and gross and weird and totally not right. Would you just let Mr. Pervo down the street, Mr. John, who just got picked up for, getting an old BJ from the local crackhead crack whore? Would you crack? Would you be okay with that? Just invite him on into your house, sit down, read my kid a book. Hey, I'm gonna go take a shower. Do you mind reading my kid a book when he falls asleep? No, I get it. That's a little over the top. It's not quite the same thing, but it's kind of the same thing. Would you expose him to that? No, but it's totally fine to expose him to somebody who's apparently, or that it's to a child's mind is going to be like, is that a man or a woman? I think that's a man, but dressed up like a woman. What is this, mommy? The whole purpose, again, it's sexualizing. It's deviancy. It's corrupting our children. And it's evil and it's gross and it's sick and it's wrong. And I can't believe we're even having this debate in society. Well, I can believe it, but it's sad that I can believe it. According to the email sent to parents, Texas Values points out the reading event was scheduled to take place at 11 a.m. and all readers had been screened by Austin ISD. Previously, an Austin school on the other side of the district featured a drag queen who put makeup on children all day despite not being licensed to do so. So, wasn't a licensed cosmetologist and was allowed to be dressed up like a woman when he's a man and put makeup on children. That seems perfectly okay. The most liberal city in Texas seems to be emerging as a vanguard for the pedo acceptance movement. In October, the AISD approved new sexual education standards called Dream Scenario for Pedophiles. They gave children pointers on how to perform anal sex and encouraging them to get abortions without their parents' consent. I'd like to read that article. Big League Politics reported on the Gomorrah-esque hellscape that is developing in the Lone Star State. An Austin Independent School District approved the standards unanimously last month. At the meeting where it was approved, over 100 people made their voices heard about the standards. Pro-child advocates faced off with the depraved LGBT activists who are delighted about the success of their efforts to corrupt the souls of our youth. One page from the new sex ed standards will give children tips about the best way to have anal sex, because there's nothing that screams appropriateness like teaching a kid about anal sex. It tells children to eschew myths about anal sex and that if you get ready the right way, it doesn't need to hurt and won't cause health issues, adding that many people enjoy it. Silly. Another page from the new sex ed standards encourages children to receive birth control and abortions without their parents' consent. After you turn 14, you can get medical care like birth control, STI tests, and abortions without your parents finding out. It's confidential and you don't need their permission, the curriculum explains. The AISD had to scrap its previous sex ed plan because it had been formed in conjunction with abortion providers, which was made illegal by the state legislature in 2018. They decided to instead consult the LGBT rights group to evade the ban. Planned Parenthood is very pleased at the results. On behalf of Planned Parenthood and our review of these lessons, they are LGBTQ inclusive and comprehensive, and we support all your efforts in leadership tonight, said Sarah Wheat, Chief External Affairs Officer for Planned Parenthood in Texas. 2 other sexual predators were found to be administering Drag Queen Story Hour also, events in Houston earlier this year. Don't believe me? Let's take a look. I'm reading a lot of these articles just to drive home the fact of how absolutely jacked up we are living. And it's not getting much press unless you look for it. Because most people have enough common sense to say, what the f is this? And really scream out about it. And when you do scream out about it, immediately though, like when these few people find these articles and they put them up or these videos, all of a sudden you are called the worst bigot. You are intolerant. You are homophobic. What does even homophobic mean? I'm not scared of gay people. I just don't want your agenda shoved down my throat. Well, homophobic. I love how they put phobic on the end of anything that they just want to shame somebody on. They just want to shame. The tolerant left loves to shame. They are the most intolerant, by the way. And we're intolerant. They consider us intolerant if we think sexualizing our kids and having people who are struggling with mental illness, these transvestites and these drag queens, these drag queens, influence our children. I know I'm beating a dead horse here. Get it? I'm beating a dead bull right now. Bull horns. After reviewing the Houston Public Library's allowed a sex offender to groom children at a controversial Drag Queen Story Hour program, the Houston Mass Resistant Whistleblower Group has found that another pedophile has been given intimate access to young children at these perverted events. Houston Mass Resistance uncovered that William Travis Dees, who is a member of a drag queen called the Space City Sisters, has been participating in Drag Queen Story Hour events in the town. Dees is a child sex offender who brags about his time as a transgender prostitute. He was photographed at a Drag Queen Story Hour event carrying a rubber chicken, a symbol used by homosexuals to indicate a sexual preference for younger boys. The Houston Mass Resistance wrote in a post, Dee's stage name is Lisa Lott. Lisa Lott, you know what I'm saying? And he has served as a greeter during Story Hour to give himself special access to the children and their parents. And as their parents usher them in to have their souls warped. Houston Mass Resistant activists uncovered records showing Dees once victimized children as young as 4 years old with his vicious assaults. Dees was convicted in 2004 of sex crimes against 4 young children, 4, 5, 6, and 8, was jailed, and is listed as a high-risk sex offender. But it's okay to have him in the Drag Queen Story Hour. And I read these to say, like I said before, these aren't isolated incidences. This isn't just some isolated incident that's happened once or twice, and it just somebody slipped through the cracks, no pun intended. They just slipped through the cracks and they got in. This is happening far too much than it should. And that's even to say it shouldn't be happening at all, because we shouldn't have drag queens reading to our children. This is madness, people. Making matters even worse, the Space City Sisters drag group also engages in open blasphemy, mocking the Catholic Church publicly while celebrating degeneracy and gender bending. They are part of a national network of heretics called the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, which also targets kids at Drag Queen Story Hour events. The men dress as garish and hideous parodies of Catholic nuns and mock Catholicism. They are a popular feature in gay pride parades and at other LGBT events across the country. They now also do Drag Queen Story Hour reading to small children. Houston Mass Resistance wrote, Dee's blog, What I Learned as a Trans Dominatrix, gives a glimpse into the warped mindset of this mentally ill predator. Well, what does she say in this? Just having a history lesson right now, guys. One that we maybe didn't want to have, but we're having it. Because it's important that we realize how prevalent this is becoming and how we're trying to normalize this. They're trying to normalize this. And you see it in every show you watch on Netflix. You see it on cartoons now. You see it in every movie that comes out. This kind of mentality of this transgenderism and all this other, it's just becoming normalized. If you're an adult and this is what you want to do with other adults in adult spaces on adult time, have at it, man. Do your thing. But when you start bringing children into it, when you start bringing young children into it and pushing it on them and encouraging them into this lifestyle, when kids are already confused enough and don't even know what they want to be or who they are, and it takes a lot, people's minds aren't even, done developing till they're 25 years old? Especially when they're these young adolescents and whatnot, and you're pushing hormones on them, you're pushing chemical castration, you're pushing this insidious agenda on them as children. You're a terrible human being that should have no access to any children, and that includes if you are a parent, in my opinion, which is going to catch me some flack, and I don't give a crap. If you're going to push your kids into this direction when they're already confused enough, to me it's like, I'm just so pissed off about it. This video is for sure getting deleted by YouTube. What I learned as a trans dominatrix. How I learned to survive as a trans woman and sex worker. I knew before I came out and I began my transition that I would most likely have to do some form of sex work in order to survive. I had to resolve myself to the fact that this would probably be part of my future as a trans woman, because it might be difficult to be gainfully employed if my identity didn't match what people perceived when they met me. This is unfortunately common among people in my community. Beginning a life in sex work wasn't even the hard part. I had to try for so many years to alleviate my depression and dysphoria through random sex. So right now, he is saying I have had so many mental issues surrounding this that I had to try to alleviate my depression and dysphoria through random sex. When I get pissed off at this, I don't hate these people like you just, their lifestyle, yeah, it does. It's like I find it completely and totally broken. Like you are a broken person if that's the life that you're choosing. And they all but admit it when they say they're dealing with hardcore depression, they have hardcore dysphoria, so on and so forth. And when you also look at the suicide rate of transgender people, it is, I think, higher than, I want to say it's higher than returning vets, which is off the charts. It's like 47% of people they have within their community, 47% suicide rate. And that rate doesn't change much pre and post surgery. So it's a mental issue. For 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it was considered to be a mental disorder that people needed counseling and help on, therapy to understand and to get through. And now we're just totally saying, well, no, it's not. Now it's just you. We need to praise you and worship you and bow down. And we just need to pretend like you're not somebody that's listening to voices in the back of the room. Crazy Uncle Joe in the back of the room talking to himself, hearing voices. That is, we all look at that and we go, oh man, that person's crazy. The poor guy, man, he's a little schizo, right? Schizophrenia is still considered a mental disorder. Gender dysphoria now is considered just something that people are, and we just need to encourage it. Instead of saying, whoa, let's look into this a little bit and see maybe where, the disconnect happened. Anyways, I don't really actually want to read all of this. It says, my main experience with sex work was as a professional dominatrix, so that will be my primary focus for the story. I infrequently performed on-camera sex work with other trans women and prostituted myself once or twice, but I'll leave those things to someone who may know that life more intimately. Flexibility is essential. Whatever rules you have are probably going to be broken at some point, so on and so forth. So she literally goes on, I'm not calling it him or she. I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. Not in this scenario. It's just really ultimately messed up and sad that these people are going through this. But pulling it back, full circle back that started all this rabbit hole, this divergence down the rabbit hole, is When you have children involved and you're pushing this or normalizing this on them, it is terrible. And this should be condemned on all fronts. So that was my first segment. I'm going to do another one here, but I appreciate everybody who watched this and stuck out. Without fear or animus, it's SJG Perspective, and we will see you again really soon. Okay, don't go anywhere, anybody. Anybody who just came in here, I'm just recording some live segments. Live, I'm going to slice these up later and put them out as individual segments. So that one should probably be cut down. That was like 30 minutes. Holy crap. Or 20 minutes. So, all right, let's go into another segment here. How many people? Let's look at the chats too a little bit. See what we got going on in the chat here. I'll catch up a little bit. Oh man, got a lot of new faces I'm seeing in here. These parents shouldn't be allowed to have pets. Never mind children. Absolutely true. American Joe, the only difference between map and no map is time. Yeah, exactly. What's up, American Joe? I don't know if you're still in here, if you jumped out. Yeah, minor attracted person. That's what it is. Map. Thank you, American Joe. Yep, exactly right, man. Hi, everybody. SJG Duke. What's up, Duke? Steel Punisher. That was funny. I'll read your comment again. Those parents shouldn't be allowed to have pets. Never mind children. That's true. Ronnie McDonald, older woman. What's up, Dave Simmons? Duke. When I was a child, the logic of a child was ignored. Why is child logic just fine these days? It's because it fits the narrative. Nick said the lack of license was not the part of that making it weird. Yeah, you're right. It's true. I was trying to come up with something funny right on the fly there when I was reading that, but you're right. She wasn't a licensed cosmetologist. That's definitely not the weirdest part of that whole story. I agree. I totally agree. That's funny. Best of homeschooling your kids now per day. Yeah, absolutely, Scott. Welcome, Scott. Don't we have the right never to have to hear this kind of crap ever? Oh, you do have that right, man. I'm all of the above then. The school administration and the city politicians who let this stuff happen all need their shit slapped out of them. More than the shit slapped out of them. Yeah. I don't want to encourage physical abuse, but yeah, this goes on in my town. Someone goes home in a bag. Yeah, that's what it'll end up coming to, because it's insanity, man. I don't play well with others and I don't ignore anything. That's what I thought. See if I got anybody else in here that's new. Sweet. Well, we're glad to have you, Duke. Glad to have you. All right, let's jump into another one of my articles here that I was, let me close out a couple of these. That one took me down a weird path, man. But that was frustrating. Holy weird strikes again. Oh, man, I don't know if I want to read that. It's kind of along the same lines. This is something that isn't gotten much play. Oh, this is kind of a weird one, I think. I think I read a little bit of this one. Go back over to here. Okay, so I'm going to go back over to the segment, guys, and then I'm going to do another introduction because, like I said, I'm going to cut these up later, so stay with me here while I do that. All right, so now the next article I want to talk about is the Democrat state senator defends HIV-positive man being set free after spitting in a cop's mouth. That's going to be an interesting subject. Before we jump into that one, everyone, please make sure to like this video and share it out on your social medias. And also make sure to follow me on BitChute, on DLive, and on Parler, all at SJG Perspective. Those are some of the main ones that I'm at right now. And so I'd love it if you guys came over and joined me. All right, let's jump into this article. This one says a Democrat state senator defends HIV-positive man being set free after spitting in a cop's mouth. Think about that, man. The New York State Senator Julie Salazar, a liberal Democrat, oh, that's weird. She's liberal. From the Bronx, is glad that an HIV-positive man who admitted to spitting in a cop's mouth is being let out on the streets. The Port Authority Police Department is outraged after a judge allowed the suspect to walk without supervision. in issuing no cash bail requirements for the individual who is accused of assaulting the officer. Absolutely ridiculous. The number one responsibility of government is to protect the people. Bail reform relinquishes governments of that responsibility. Port Authority PBA President Paul Nunziato said in a statement. He sounds absolutely a little Italian. My police officer was assaulted. He and his family will live a life of worry about the possibility of further harm. History will repeat itself, and hardworking New Yorkers will once again be hostages in their own homes, he added. A Queen judge let the suspect back on the streets despite their admission that they spit in the officer's mouth while knowingly they had the HIV virus. Although HIV cannot be transmitted through saliva, allegedly, but still, do you want to take that chance? They say that, but can we know that for sure, that it can't just be transferred through saliva? I don't know if I'm totally on board with that. I'm not taking any chances. A bloody sore in the individual's mouth could have made it possible for this assault to transmit the often fatal disease to the policeman. Unless you're Magic Johnson and you have tons of money, then you can cure yourself of it. But most people are going to die. New York Senator Julia Salazar went on Twitter to defend the suspect being set free by the judge due to her opposition to cash bail, which she calls wealth-based detention. It's those rich people, man. Wealth-based detention doesn't protect me or any other hypothetical victim of a crime. That is what this is about. No, it's really not. It's about a psycho that knows they have AIDS spitting in another cop's mouth. That's really what this is about. You're making it about this cash bail thing and that you're so happy about that, but that's really not what it's about. What it's about is some dude spitting in another dude's mouth when they know they have HIV and they're not even into it. Some people are probably into that thing, like some of the articles we just read, the dominatrix things and whatnot. Maybe you're into that. Okay, if that's your thing and you're two consenting adults, hey-oh, do what you will. But when you're a cop and some psycho leftist turd fart spits in your mouth, I'm just assuming he's a psycho leftist turd fart, because who else spits in cops' mouths unknowingly, especially when you know you have HIV? Some total POS. That's who. Cash bail should be completely eliminated. If someone is charged with attempting to spit in a cop's mouth, then let a jury decide what to do about it. Or you set bail on this piece of shit because they spit in a cop's mouth, and you let him worry about getting the money to get his freedom, because he didn't have to spit in that cop's mouth. Nobody forced him to spit in that cop's mouth. Nobody forced him to assault an officer, because that is a form of assault. So guess what? He gets bail, and if he gets bail, then he can get out and walk free until his trial, and the jury, and we'll let the jury decide. But until that time, you let him worry about coming up with the money. And if he's a poor son of a bitch that can't afford to get out, well, then I guess he'll have to think twice before he spits in a cop's mouth next time. You sit your happy ass in jail until you can afford to get out. Just my thoughts. New Jersey dismantled the cash bail system in their state under the guise of criminal justice reform. In 2017, NBC New York reported on the chaos and calamity that followed. On January 1st of this year, New Jersey overhauled its criminal justice system and virtually eliminated the old cash bail structure, replacing it with one that relies heavily on mathematical risk assessment formulas. From January 1st through March 31st, 10,193 eligible defendants were processed. Preventative detention was ordered for only 12.4%. Nearly 85% were given pretrial release, some with conditions. Outraged mother June Rogers of Millville blames bail reform for the murder of her son. He was shot to death on the street in Vineland in April after a verbal dispute with a man driving a car. Cops arrested career criminal Jules Black, who'd been picked up on a separate gun charge 4 days before and released with no bail. So now we're taking it up a notch. That this dude had been picked up on a gun charge 4 days prior, and he still wasn't held. And then 4 days later, he gets a bigger gun charge, a homicide gun charge. Had his happy ass stayed in jail, or unhappy ass, whatever, it doesn't matter. If his ass would have stayed in jail, that person would be alive right now. Most likely. The state has created a division of pretrial services to monitor defendants. The funds come from court fees. There have been 173 employees hired so far. The projected spending next fiscal year, is expected to be in the range of $36 million to $38 million. The Office of Administrative Courts was unable to provide any statistics on the number of released defendants who have reoffended since January. Well, of course they were. Or the numbers of those who have failed to appear for scheduled court dates. Democrats have created an atmosphere that fosters criminality, and law enforcement is paying the price, thanks to radicalized public officials like Salazar. That is an amen to that, in that they are absolutely right. Sorry, I'm just going to... all right, camera. Oh, it's not. There we go. It's absolutely an amen to that. That's so true. The Democrats now, even Trump though, he did some prison reform, which wasn't. I think had some. I was all for it at first because I thought it was low-level crime stuff, and I think it still is. I'd have to look more into it, but I've heard a little bit of stuff about that. That there was some bad people released out on that too. And here's the thing: I don't believe low-level little drug charges, marijuana, things like that. I really don't even think you should be earning a ticket for that, or whatever. You shouldn't be thrown into the slammer on something that's non-violent. But any kind of violent thing you do, it should be appropriate to the level of the violence that it is. But you should be put in jail, and there should be bail set for you. And if you can't make the bail, then you stay in jail. If you can't make the bail, you stay in jail. That would be my tagline. I just made it up. It's pretty good. But yeah, I think that's what we need to do on that. Don't know how I'm going to end that little article, but going to end this segment right now. So make sure you subscribe, you like, and you share this video out. And until next time, it's SJG without fear or animus. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye. And cut. Okay, so that was my second segment I'm going to do. I'm going to chop all these up, and you guys get to watch me do them live. Muhammad Aloha Snack Bar. Deport immediately, yes. You are late. You were here and then you left, and then now you're back. Everybody, welcome Muhammad Aloha Snack Bar. He's a frequent guest that stops by and visits from time to time. Let me see if I can give him a quick ring-a-ling-a-ding and get him on the stream with us, because he's usually pretty insightful about a lot of these things. And so it'd be good to see if we can talk to him here and see how he's doing. So give me a second here. Let me give him a call. Muhammad Aloha Snack Bar. See if he answers. He may not answer, but if he does, you guys will appreciate it. Habibi, I'm ringing you, Habibi. Habibi. Oh, wait.
Yalla Habibi.
Aloha, how are you, my friend? It has been a minute.
Habibi, how are you, my friend?
I am doing very well. I'm so glad that you could join us, man. Would you like to be on camera, or are you just going to stay in the shadows?
I am always going to I didn't know. Oh, jeez. Habibi, I didn't know cameras on.
It's okay. You're not.
Perspective of SJG. Thank you, my friend. Please.
We understand. We understand in your situation that you're a special animal, and that you're a conservative, radical Islamist. So I don't even know how those go together, actually, in the same sentence. But we know that your face can't be shown because there could be reprisals of sort. Is this correct?
Yes. Yeah, very true. They took out my cousin Salamani, though, so I have no worries for a minute. No big deal.
You know what? I would almost think you'd have more worries. And you know what? I think I might have had on that. There might have been an article about that I thought we should read. About Soleimani. Well, you know what? You might be able to too. This kind of plays in. This is a good article that I could get some input from you on. Kind of a serious article though, but it is the fact that, did you see that John Bolton was photographed? True story, everybody listening. True story. Did you understand that John Bolton? I'll pull this up real quick here for my audience. John Bolton was photographed walking in Qatar just a couple days ago. He was walking in Qatar by himself, John Bolton. Is that not a little weird and suspicious to anybody else? That what the hell is John Bolton doing in Qatar? Is he talking to your cousins over there, or what's going on?
I don't know, but he brought his brother Michael to sing to them. I know this.
He did. There was a special concert. I heard about that.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know if they're
I,
actually related. I think he might be his dad. I don't know if he's his brother. Is he his brother? No, he's pretty
this
old.
is possible. I do not know really, but I know he was there. You know, singing all his greats from the '90s.
Let me read you a little bit about this, and you give me some thoughts on this. You jump in when you want to say something here. But it says former White House National Security Advisor John Bolton was recently spotted wandering the streets of Qatar for reasons unknown, sparking questions about why the mustachioed why the mustachioed neocon Warhawk was in the Middle East. A video of Bolton reportedly walking on the sidewalk in Doha, Qatar was posted on Twitter on Wednesday. So this was today. This dude was over there today. Do you think he's planning the reprisal? Maybe a little false flag action or something to,
It is possible. He might be looking for the shawarma cart too, my friend. We don't know. It's possible.
The shawarma cart isn't that like a shawarma? Is that a sandwich? What is that?
Yes, it's like taco truck in Mexico, same thing, yes? It's like sandwich wrapped. It has chicken, and it has garlic sauce and pickle and little this, little that, little, jihadi. Take it. It's good, yes. You have. You should try it. I will send you one from Dearborn, Michigan.
You should. From Disbornistan? What do they call it? Dearbornistan?
Yes, it's a very nice place.
I just read an article about an imam up in that area that was praising Soleimani. Is that the mosque you go to? Is that the imam? Is that your imam?
No. Remember you asked me, and I said that it's possible that I might know the guy.
That's right.
He could be my cousin. He does has my nose. You see his nose? That nose look just like mine.
It did look very similar to yours, actually. It does.
Yes.
And I said, you thought he might be your cousin or brother or cousin. And I said, brother, cousin. Man, what's the difference? The family tree doesn't split too far in your tree.
But it is easier to marry your cousin than brother. It's both possible, but easier for cousin, yes?
Yeah, that's true, actually. It'd be pretty tough for you to marry. You guys might have to get married on a rooftop and then quickly thrown off.
Yes. It's no problem. We don't have very many two-story buildings in Dearborn, Michigan, so it's not a big deal.
Well, that's good. Well, this article goes on to say it's unknown whether Bolton is in Qatar to cash in on lobbyist job, as so many former government officials are known to do, or do something more sinister. One Twitter user identified the location of the video, and he gives I don't know why he would do that, but Bolton recently stated that he would testify in a Senate trial regarding President Donald Trump following his impeachment by Congress, even if it is against the wishes of the administration. Yeah. Did you want to say something on that there too?
I was just saying yes.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, the House has concluded. So this is what he said. And it's very touching. The House has concluded its constitutional responsibility by adopting articles of impeachment related to the Ukraine matter. It now falls to the Senate to fulfill its constitutional obligation to try the impeachments. Its constitutional obligations to try an impeachment that is completely, totally a joke, constitutionally a joke.
Listen, listen, this is like stupid. Like, okay, you go to court, right?
Right.
And police don't do their job correctly, so you want you want the defense to make the case for you. Is basically what you want. Right. You're like, hey, the police, they screwed up, so we're gonna ask you to go ahead and redo the whole thing. Okay, no problem. Yeah, sounds fair to me.
They didn't just screw up; they planned it. It would be more like, hey, the police are really trying to. They tried to frame this person in something that in this murder, and we would like you to retry it, and this time try to make it stick.
Yeah, please. Next time. Hello. Listen, my Habibi, please. We need to get this guy. We don't like him.
I know you don't, but wait a second. Are you talking about the Trump guy?
No, I was talking third person, like I was police officer talking about people they framed.
You need to tell me when
you change my tone. Listen here, my friend.
Yeah.
You next time you come here, we get this guy. No problem. Put your hands up. Boom.
Yes.
Boom, boom.
Yes, that is what you need to do, because I didn't know we went to a third person there, and I got a little confused on how that was. I know
sarcasm does not work very well when you have accent. I get it. It's not a problem.
Okay, he goes on to say, accordingly, Since my testimony, I should do this in a better accent because I figured this is how Bolton would talk. I haven't heard him forever, so I don't know how he talks about. Accordingly, since my testimony is once again at issue, I've had to resolve a serious competing issue as best I could. Based on careful consideration and study, I have concluded if the Senate issues a subpoena for my testimony, I am prepared to testify, he added. He said he's been waiting. He can't decide whether he wants to go and throw Donald Trump under the bus. This guy hates Donald Trump, and they act like they got along okay, but Donald kicked his ass out, said a whole bunch of terrible stuff about him. This dude is not happy, and his mustache apparently has not quit growing. Have you seen that Dana Carvey when he impersonated Bolton, and his mustache kept getting bigger? Yeah, it's funny stuff, man. Since Bolton left the White House, President Trump has talked candidly about his incompetence as national security advisor and the many different opinions between the two men. This is the funny part, though, when we read what Trump said, okay? Because he goes back and forth. You can't pin him down. He talks in circles sometimes. It's kind of funny. So, John is somebody that I actually get along with very well. He made some very big mistakes, Trump said a day following his ouster of Bolton from the White House. And it set us back. And frankly, he wanted to do things not necessarily tougher than me. You know, John's known as a tough guy. He's tough. He got us into Iraq, but he's actually somebody I had a very good relationship with. But he wasn't getting along with people in the administration that I consider very important, he added. Bolton has threatened the White House publicly, inferring that he may go rogue against his former boss. And Bolton said, speaking up, since resigning as National Security Advisor, the White House refused to return access to my personal Twitter account out of fear of what I might say. To those who speculate I went into hiding, I'm sorry to disappoint. Anyways, goes on to say a couple other things, but
He was hiding. He's lying.
he is. I think there's a body double anyways. He's probably dead. He's probably not even alive anymore. But he is such a total waste of space, man. That guy. He really truly. I was so glad when he fired him. I was so pissed when he hired him. I was like, what in the hell are you hiring this war hawk for? Thought you were trying to get us out of war, man. You ran on not getting us into war, and then you hire John Bolton. But I mean, maybe it was a move to scare some people in the Middle East and in North Korea and whatnot.
You didn't hear we are going to World War III with Iran. You did not hear this?
I didn't hear this. Actually, I've spoke about this a little bit. Not the whole World War III things.
If you look at anybody's Twitter feed or Facebook feed, they will tell you. We
know.
are going to war. Strap your boots on. Time for we're going to have people go to draft now.
Are you going to be getting drafted into a jihad?
No, I'm not citizen.
No.
I will be fine.
I meant, are you going to draft yourself over and fight for your brothers and sisters?
Well, I could do like rebel stuff, fight along with the American people, yes, maybe. But I gave that up a long time ago.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 72 virgins weren't helpful or weren't.
They lie about this, right? You know this, right? big lie.
How do you know?
What do you mean, how do I know?
How do you know they're lying about this?
Because they lie about this. They lie about everything. It's all lies.
Well, then why do you still associate?
I have, what do you want me to do, my friend? Do you want me to move into suburbs where I will get shot? No, I have to stay where my people are. It's not problem. And plus, my cousin has gas station. I have to work, drive my Honda Civic. We do things.
It's a pretty good life. It's a pretty good life. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not about the jihadi anymore,
Well, that makes me. I'm happy to hear that, man, because I think all in all, you're down deep. You're a good-hearted guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I try. Yes.
Yes.
Plus, I like American women. So.
This is true. I don't know. They might. Some might like.
They have very nice eyebrows. You know what I'm saying?
You do like some eyebrows.
One time I saw, they do not care. They will show an ankle, no problem. I'm like, la 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 la, baby.
Oh man, I'm trying to find another good article to segue into here, and there was a couple. I hammered the whole. There was another one on the story dragged. Oh, Twitter. This is kind of goes along with what we talked about earlier. I think I'll just touch on it because I hammered the whole grossness of the sexualization of our kids. But goes against Twitter here. Twitter gives platform to pedophiles to discuss finer points of raping children. So Twitter will kick off a conservative because they use the wrong pronoun for a trans person, or because they're speaking a little too much. They're hurtful to people, but they'll give a platform to people to talk about pedophilia. That makes a lot of sense. I could understand it in your in your case, Habibi. Like if we were talking about, goat attraction, right? About people that were attracted to goats. That's okay. Goats don't know any different. They're not that smart of animals, right?
Yes, but I have to say it's very good thing in America with these people that they're so progressive. We can marry goats now here,
Yeah. I didn't hear that. Can you? Is that like a new thing?
Pretty much. I mean, it's on the docket. It's coming. Don't worry. I heard it through grapevine.
Oh, it might have been that librarian. His last name was Grape. Last year, Big League Politics reported on how discussions of pedophilia and naked pictures of children would be allowed on Twitter according to their own terms of service. We exposed how Twitter quietly amended their terms of service to include discussions related to attraction towards minors on their platform. Discussions related to children or child sex exploitation as a phenomenon or attraction towards minors are permitted, provided they don't promote or glorify child sexual exploitation in any way. Hang on a second. Discussions related to child sexual exploitations as a phenomenon or attraction is permitted as long as you don't promote or glorify child sex exploit. That is the...
Yes, I am not the chomo, I swear. I just love little children.
I know. I just want to talk about how it would, I love them and I want to touch them on their small little bodies and how I'm attracted to them, but I'm not glorifying it at all.
Yes.
It's so hilarious.
It does not make sense.
Which it doesn't. It completely doesn't. Artistic depictions of nude minors in a non-sexualized context or setting may be permitted in a limited number of scenarios, e.g. works by internationally renowned artists that feature minors. How many internationally, there's probably a ton now, but I was going to say, how many international artists are out there that are painting little pictures of children in sexual manners? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Sir, you have 2 children doing 69. No, this is art. This is art.
I don't even like to say that, or I can't even laugh to that joke.
This is what they think, though. This is what I'm saying. This makes no sense. Just like, sir, they're fornicating right there. No, this is art. I'm sorry, but you are wrong.
On Twitter exchange, one Twitter exchange makes it abundantly clear that social network is being used by pedophiles, now called MAPS. Thanks American Joe. He called that out. I couldn't think of the acronym. I thought it was SACS of shit, but it's MAPS. By liberal activists to discuss the finer points of disgusting abuse. One Twitter user, Kevin Rowe, a bunch of numbers, asked pro CMAPS, which means pedophiles who believe children can consent to sexual acts. Yeah, if you give them a lot of candy and you screw with their minds, you tell them to keep it a secret and that it's a special game, then they maybe consent to it, I guess.
Do you like Tootsie Rolls, kid?
Do what?
Do you like Tootsie Rolls?
Yes. A vile question whether or not they would support causing physical pain to kids. He says, this is a question for pro CMAPs. Those are consensual, minorly attracted persons.
Those are consensual. Jeez.
I know. Since a child's genital typically can't accommodate an older person's genital, and thus intercourse would probably cause physical discomfort for them, would you still pursue sexual relationships with them or not? These were some of the... This was allowed. I got kicked off of Twitter for a week or 3 days because I wanted somebody... Because I tweeted Conor McGregor, because he is under rape allegations in the UK right now for raping some girl. And so he's got a fight coming up this weekend with Cowboy Cerrone. He's got a fight, an MMA fight in the octagon, and I tweeted Conor McGregor, and I said, I hope Cowboy Cerrone kicks your head off. And they said I was bullying Conor McGregor, and they kicked me off Twitter.
How dare you?
How dare I say that?
You hurt his feels.
Which, just for some statistics out there for anybody who doesn't know, Conor or Cowboy Cerrone has the record in the UFC for the most head kicks. So it wasn't like this is a weird... And they're fighting in the MMA. And he's being accused of rape that everyone's brushing under the rug. So I put up there, I put that tweet and I get kicked off. But these sons of bitches can talk about putting their penises in other children's butts.
They do not accommodate. This is what we talk about.
And so these were some of the responses. Yes, but I wouldn't think to pursue penetrative sexual relations and would only do things that they would be comfortable with, like a handy. For me, it would depend on their development and their comfortability.
Like a handy. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, there was at least one online who said this. Another response. Yeah, there was at least one online who was like that. Basically, people can be into physical pain, and she said it was just another pain which she enjoys. Holy cow. Yeah, kids love pain, man. Kids are into pain. I mean, if that's, you doubt that, you don't know what you're talking about. Because kids.
Yes, but in the state of Michigan, you have to be 21 to smoke cigarettes now. But children can make these decisions on their own, It's
yeah.
funny.
Jeez.
Go figure. Imagine this.
And then there's one with looks like I was going to say it was a hijab, but it's just a stupid looking avatar. They said, half lazy, half wary of the effort of Googling, but doesn't that pain at the age have a risk of damage of scarring and growth? Yeah, actually it would. And somebody responds, if, like most other studies, most cases were limited together with violent rape. So it might be hard to determine if you were violently raping a child in the bungholio, or if you were just gently sliding it in there. I don't even like discussing this because it gives me the willies. It's so twisted, man. But I'm not the one discussing it. I'm just reading tweets that Twitter has allowed online. Twitter has allowed this.
Do you know that the twatter is for progressives, yes?
A twatter, the twatter is?
Yes.
It is, very much.
Yes.
Just
it's
like
not designed for people who have brain.
It is not. But Parler,
every one of those people use iPhone too. Swear to you, my friend.
It's probably true. But Parler, just so you all know out there, Parler, where you can follow me at, it is not for the twatters. It's for the common sense, real people in this world that actually can rub together 2 or 3 brain cells. We'll read 2 more of these. Considering the age and size of the girls I'm attracted to, I can't believe they even say that out loud.
Considering the age and size
of the girls I'm attracted to, no, absolutely not. I support non-sexual relationships with minors only. Oh, wait a second. I support non-sexual relationships with minors, though. Oh, man. I would never French kiss a toddler. Touching? Question mark. Well, that's awful nice.
Why do they think this is okay?
They think this is okay. They say this. I would never French kiss a toddler. Oh, you're a good person. Touching? Question mark. Maybe touch them. Depends on what you mean and the intent behind it. How do you mean what the intent is behind it? It's a child and you're talking about sexually touching them. Kissing
is literally rammed your tongue down their throat. Yes. I mean, what is the intent?
Kissing is a form of affection, so again, the intent behind it matters. Dating is fine. It is harmless practice, though the age of a minor matters here too. Like how minor? Are we talking 5-year-old minor or 10? Because it's a real big difference. I don't get why so many people have no concept of non-penetrative sex.
What is this?
This is handy. Going back to the handy.
Handy J.
Handy J. Yeah, but pretty much anyone tackling the subject acts like you have to hurt them physically when that's totally wrong. No proceed.
Physical violence, totally wrong. But sticking your tongue down throat, okay.
No, it's okay.
It's no problem.
No proceed I know would do anything that would physically harm a child. There are many forms of non-penetrative sex. Again, the handy, the blowy, the rubby, I don't know. It goes on and on. But the Twitter, I'm getting off the subject now. So, yeah, this is Twitter for you, though. Twitter thinks that's okay. That's okay to do. That's no big deal. Everyone's okay.
But you are bullying somebody.
I am.
Jerk.
I know. Yeah.
How dare you?
Pedo R. Let's read a couple comments here. Sorry about you guys. I just thought I read somebody. I puked a little in my mouth. We were just having this discussion. Yeah, I know. You are a little. That's Duke said Chank Yogurt and his horsey friend. B Maximus says let them feel comfortable talking about it in the open. Make a list and start taking them out one by one. Amen to that, Maximus. Duke said, Mr. Horse, what do you think? Well, I didn't like it. I didn't like it one bit. Show us on the horse figurine where the progressive touched you. That was funny, Maxis. B Maximus said that. Show us on the horse figurine where the progressive touched you. That was the comment right there. I'd be interested in taking them out as a group. Yeah, we should get them all together. Pretend like in like a say there's going to be like a I don't know consensual kitty parade and just invite them all there and then just nuke them with a tactical nuke. That would probably be helpful. Maximus said, Duke, do pedos have their own Comic-Con equivalent? Yeah, there we go. We'll start a Comic-Con equivalent, and we'll get them all there. And then we'll lock them in, and we'll mustard gas them. Oh, this is definitely getting taken down. This is all hyperbole.
Bye. Say goodbye to YouTube channel now.
I know. I just broke 1,000, and they're like, you are canceled. Oh, this is far enough. Maybe the algorithms won't catch it.
This
Maybe
will definitely get you into the streams, my friend.
This one is definitely going to my BitChute. I'm gonna cut. I'll probably edit this out and put it over to my BitChute. I just broke the 1,000 mark, and now all of a sudden I'm gonna be like, they're gonna take me out.
He wakes up in the morning, he has 200 subscribers. Like, what the hell just happened?
What just happened?
You know, there's some pedo right now listening to this, and he's like, "How dare you? How dare you?"
Maximus said, pedo art gallery in obscure middle of nowhere podunk town, secluded so they feel comfy, averted as a child appreciative art, rig building with C4. Maximus is on a roll. I like where you're at, Maximus. Maximus gets commenter of the night so far with the comments. I like him. Airstrike. That's a good one too, Duke. I agree with you. That also would work. Oh, I want to touch some pedos deep in their gutlet with my fist. Oh, I agree with you there, man. Double tap the pedos.
Why are you people so judgmental?
You guys are not very inclusive. You guys are being just rude right now. This is mean.
You guys are bigots and racists and all these things.
Pedos have feelings too, and
That's right. Pedos need love as well.
Rubber cement enemas and glass rod urethra catheterizations for all kind of exploiters. I agree with you. These are all stuff that I'm just like, sorry, not sorry. I'm not sorry either. And you guys shouldn't be. I don't want you to be. Yeah, I know. I don't think a pedo would enjoy listening to this too much. But that's good. We don't have a lot of pedos on here. Now, bestiality ears, we actually have one maybe on the phone or on the line with us. I'm just saying.
Please.
I'm saying, I'm not saying.
SJG, please stop, please.
Okay, all right, my bad. I know you.
Not talk about this. It's legal anyways. Stop.
I think they're all good plans. I'll put G rapes in the pedo's ears. Instead of grapes in the pedo's ears, he's gonna put G rapes in the pedo's ears. Oh man, that one took a funny turn. I'm going to admit that one took a funny turn.
Well, you say pedo, and I think good punishment, like for like anybody that does that, you like take them out to like forest and you get honey, and you tie them up to a tree and you smother their genitals in honey and let the bears take care of the rest.
The bears, or put them out where some fire ants are. Put them out like
that would be good too. or you take chain, right, and you tie it to their tallywhacker and put it to the other end of like Ford F-150.
That'd be too quick.
And then you take off.
No, I think we get like about a 10-pound weight. Not too hard to just pull them all off, and we just hoist them up a little bit and strap. This definitely, I have got to edit this out, man, and put this on BitChute because this is gonna totally get me taken down. We're just hyperbole. I mean, some of them are into that kind of pain and stuff, though. But we could just stretch their cajones out a little bit, and I don't know. Save the goat. Hashtag save the goat. Goat lives matter. Hashtag Maximus puts up hashtag bah. Oh man, we are on a roll tonight, guys. We are on a roll. Save a child, ride a donkey.
It's this good plan, yes?
Yes, it is. Oh man, oh jeez, this one's definitely gonna get me in trouble. It's just sick though, man. That these pedos here's the other thing, that we're not being, applauded by saying these things, even though we're not, we're being hyperbolic here. I mean, in reality, if I ever saw something like that happen around me, there would be severe consequences, much like this. But I mean, the fact that we can't even say this is disgusting and wrong, and these people should be, strung up, and then we're the intolerant assholes
How dare you?
who could be
How dare you?
suffered
You're probably a
cancellation.
climate change denier too, aren't you?
What did Maximus say? Maximus said, honey on the genitals and queen wasp pheromones for those giant killer Asian wasps. Those things are intense, man. Yeah, like this. I think this is let's Google that real quick. Let's pull that image up, what he just said. I'm going to do that. What are they called? The giant Asian. I'm probably going to get some porn site wasp.
So it's little Asian man and wasp uniform.
Let's pick up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at one of these mofos, man. Let's do this right here. I'm trying to find a good one. Oh yeah, make sure pretend like this sucker right here. So go our article window. That sucker right there, man. Just strap him up with some honey, man, and then just put some of these bad mambo jambos on him like that. Pretend that's his tallywhacker. You're just getting it stung.
I can Photoshop that if you'd like.
Oh man, there is. Oh, I hate wasps. I hate them. Holy shit, this can't be real. That can't be a real picture. Is that a real taken from Tony Asian Giant Wasp Hornet Bee? Realistic insect bug. Oh, that's a figure. Okay, I was like, that's insanity right there. If that's the real thing. Oh, some of these guys, they look terrible.
We have here we have cicada wasps. Have you seen? They're big like that. But they do not go after humans.
Look at
Only
these.
cicadas.
These things kill. It says China giant killer hornet attacks and leaves 42 dead. So we got to go back to the Comic-Con thing or some convention, get them all in there with one of those nests, lock the doors, and then just start pounding on have like a stick that goes through the roof, and we'll just shake that nest up and just get them swarming in there. Oh, maybe we could do it we could pretend it was a drag queen story hour or something. Anyways, I don't know. Something like that.
Everybody would be bringing their kids then.
No, that's true. We'd say, no. The kids go in. We let the performers in first.
No, drag queen bingo. There you go.
Yeah. Seriously. Wow. All right, guys. It's 11:30. We're going to end on that one because that could be the end of it. So if it is the end of it, this is the perfect time to tell you. You follow me on Parler, follow me on BitChute, and you can also always find me live on DLive, said SJG Perspective. It'd be cool if all you guys went over there and subbed up to that because, like I said, when it comes to debates or the election, stuff that YouTube won't let you stream, I want to, I can do those over there. So that's where I'm going to do those streams at for like the election and stuff. You should get over there and start doing a little a trolling, Muhammad Aloha.
What is this?
DLive.
I do not know what this is.
DLive. You can Google it. DLive.com. You go to DLive. It's basically a streaming site. A lot of gamers go on there, but there's a lot of commentary people that are going over there now too because there's not as many restrictions on what you can say and do. So like Owen Benjamin and all the outcasts are over there now. Yeah.
DLive. This is like YouTube, but not YouTube.
Yeah, it's like Twitch. It's kind of like Twitch. But Twitch is pretty authoritarian too, so DLive is not. And you can put the app on your phone, right? You get notifications like you do on YouTube when someone goes live. And you can, for content providers like me, it's pretty cool because I'm not monetized until I got to get 4,000 hours of watch time and I'm at like 15 or 1,600. And then that's when you get reviewed and they review your channel to see if you can be monetized, which I don't think my channel's getting monetized ever. But over there, you keep
letting me on, you will never get monetized.
I know. I gotta remember that. I know. Jesus, help us.
Praise Allah.
Peace be upon you.
Habibi.
Oh, DLive link. Okay, yeah. Let me do that real quick. That's a very good idea. It's actually, I think, in my Delio, but I'll put it up here. DLive.
Yes. Do not go to dlive.net. It is a whole bunch of men playing with themselves.
Here, I'm going to probably be streaming live on there right now. Let's see. Did they not? What's going on here? Oh wait, it's coming up. Let's see here. Yeah, so there I am. I'm up there. So here, I'm going to put this in the chat. If you guys go over there right now, if you're on your computer, but you could see it what it looks like. But right there, that's where you guys can follow me at too. Yeah. Oh yeah, I just got something from Restream. But
Son
Yeah.
of goat.
Son of Goat is right. On YouTube, I have my I do have it in my description on there. My Parlor and my BitChute and my DLive also. So it's in my description. But yeah, follow me over there, guys. That's a really good, cool place to go because you can donate to content providers, kind of like super chats. You can donate what they call lemons, and it's basically just a token, but it essentially you can convert it to
Lemonade. You could make lemonade.
you can make lemonade. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, so like I think what is it? 10,000 lemons is like 100. So then you have 1,000 is $10. 100 is $1. Is that right? Yeah, yeah, and then down from there. So, but it's kind of cool because you can donate stuff that way. But yeah, I just like it because I have a place to stream when I get when I get taken down because I'm probably pretty sure that I won't last forever here. So I'm trying to get as many people over that way. I think I only have I haven't really pushed it hard. I have 14 followers over there right now, but it'd be cool to start migrating all the YouTube people over there and just stream over there because it's a cool platform. Yeah, it's cool, chat and everything.
Yeah, I selfless plug. You can also catch me at goatlove.com. You can find me over there.
And that's definitely NSFW, not suitable for work.
Yeah, no, do not go while at work in office. It's not a good place to be. But you can find me over there, Mohammed Aloha Snack Bar. And if you would like to also follow me at jihadyrus.net, I give a tutorial on making bomb. So you can learn how to do this.
Sweet. Guess who just came over? Duke. Duke just came over. Sweet Duke. He just came on over to DLive.
He signed up very fast.
He did. Duke's about it, man. Duke ain't messing around. I'm gonna get B Maximus over there. I'm gonna get all these other few peeps. Earl. Hey, have you worked on my song or
I haven't been busy with my friend, but I will give listen to.
You should. It's okay. If you get around to it, great. And if not, I got to get that thing done and just out because I think that's the message of the song. I want to get out there anyways. I got to get it done. I'm really starting to try to get scheduled. I've been trying to put a video up every day.
I noticed.
Yeah.
I noticed that you're uploading a lot more lately.
I am.
I was like, look at this guy. He finally come back to Tube of You.
I know.
Now he's putting things out.
I am. I'm going to try to get one up every day. That's what she said. That's what he said. My Twitter handle is, let me go to, it's Perspective SJG. I'll give you that one real quick too. It's right here. Boom. For some reason, somebody had SJG Perspective, which was weird to me. They wouldn't let me have it. So that's my, oh, wait a second. Is that Twitter? Why does it say twitter.com? It's Perspective. It says Twitter. Yeah, that's because it's Twitter. For some reason, I was thinking Twitch. But yeah, that's my twitter.com. I'm streaming online. So I stream live there through Periscope. So yeah, I'm on there live right now too.
Hello, people of the Twitter land at Perspective SJG. Nobody's watching.
Nobody's watching. We have 6 people. But that's good, man. These are the 6 that are, and I didn't expect, a ton tonight just simply because I wasn't able to send out the notification early, and then I didn't jump on till 10:15 anyways, so.
You are way behind. It's just 2:30 here.
I know. I know. I am way behind. It's hard to do when I get home from work because I got family life and whatnot, but I am going to be finding a day during the week. On Saturdays, I'm always streaming on Saturdays during the day, which is they always turn out to have a pretty good turnout then.
I saw you were you had Drone Tech on the other day with who else was on the panel?
American Joe, Drone Tech, Douglas Ducote, the Patriot Hour, and Robert Noir.
Yeah, I like Robert a lot.
Yeah, I do too. Robert is a smart guy. And I love to watch him just go because he gets so animated. Robert, and he's the nicest guy in the world, man. Just a really really good guy. And so is Drone Tech, right? Or, I don't want to say his real name, but I think most people know. But Drone Tech's awesome. American Joe's awesome. Douglas, I don't know real well, but he seems like a great guy. And I just met. Oh, Brandon was on too. Brandon from That's
Yeah,
the Point. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
He's a little harsh, but I
yeah. Well,
like his style.
yeah, I like his style too. He doesn't pull any punches. No pun intended.
Right.
He will lay it on you, dude. He's a cool guy. They're all great guys, and they're all just rallying. And I gained after that one. I was supposed to be on that stream, but there wasn't enough spaces, and Robert got in before I did, so I just moderated. But it turned out, it almost I think in some ways turned out better because I was in the chat constantly and putting up the links. So and then they all gave me such an awesome shout out that I gained like 150 in subscribers that night or something. So I'm at like 1,100 now, which you have been here since I had like 50 or something. Weren't you here when I had
like two?
yeah, you were here from the very, very beginning, So
Yes.
it's been fun to watch it grow, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. Hopefully, it takes off and it goes to good
To think
places.
that was only like 6 months ago.
I
You
know.
know?
Yeah, yeah, I know. And the one thing I mean, some people they get there way quicker. I was wanting to get there in a year, and it took me a year and a couple months to get there. That was my goal. But I have not been regular, like I should be either. Putting them up every day. I've done it when I could, and so I'm pretty happy with where it is right now. And it'll grow. It'll grow. So I'm not too stressed about it. I'm having fun. So whatever. It'll grow until it doesn't, until the YouTube that will be disappointing. And that's why I really got to work hard on pulling my subs. And it's really hard to pull subs over. And one thing I've noticed is I'm happy when I get a 10% view ratio on my channel. That's about what I expect. And that is about what if you go and watch all these YouTube creators, you have somebody who has 100,000, they'll get, they'll get 10,000 views on their videos when they put them out. You have somebody who has 5,000, they get 500. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
it was kind of depressing because I'm like, why is that the only views you get? But that's just typically that's across the board. That's about what it is. And you should expect anywhere from 1 to 5% on live streams. 5% if you're doing really well. You know what I mean? If you get 5% of your viewer on a live stream, you're doing really well. Some of them get more than that, but not many. Most of them are.
Well, what I'm surprised about is you're on with all these guys that have all these subs, and
Yeah, I know.
how you're not pulling more from just being over there, exposure.
Yeah. Well, when I first started getting on with some of these guys, I expected that too. Like I said, that I'd get this mad boom, because they get like 3,000 or 4,000 views. But again, it's about that 10% of that are active, that really take the time to go to somebody else's page and subscribe and to listen and to comment. So, I mean, when I get lately, I've been now averaging about 100 views on my videos when I put them up by, within a day. And I'm actually fine with that, because they're just average videos. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. That's about what it is. Now, when I do my parodies and whatnot, those will get usually a lot more because they go minorly viral, if you will, or they'll get.
How many views did Ice Ice Baby get?
It's up to like 4,100.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm surprised that it hasn't done more, to be honest.
I know, so am I, but not with YouTube. YouTube, I mean, the only way people watch that is if like I tweeted it out, I got a bunch on there. It's when people actually watch it and share it. They don't promote that at all. I'm sure I don't get any recommended views on Ice Ice Baby or Jussie Smollett song or, my Joe Biden one. I like my Joe Biden ones too. But
I still like Bloody Eye Joe the best. It was
you got second verse on that one. You got props for that too. You wrote the second verse on that one.
Yeah, but it just worked so well.
I know.
Like it was just like the whole song and the Bloody Eye Joe. It just like was there. Like it needed to be done.
It's so true. But all right, guys, I got to get in there. I got to get up for work. But everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. Hang out for a second, Aloha, before you take off. I appreciate everybody that was hanging out and watching. I will be on again this Saturday. I don't know what time, but I'll try to put a link up ahead of time. I might have Rational on, and I might have Drone Tech or Robert on. I don't know, but I'll have a guest, and we'll do meme time with Steven, and I'll have some other stuff, try to figure it out. And it'll be a good time. Saturday streams are fun because I drink a little bit and I get loosened up.
You were going hard on somebody on your last one.
I know.
I don't know who it was, but I go, oh man, he's drinking some stuff. My friend, he got into some of the good grandma's syrup, and he was getting a little feisty.
I was.
And I was laughing.
I was going hard a little bit on them, but all right. Well, hey, guys, thank you so much, everybody that was hanging out. I really, really appreciate it. We'll be with you again soon. And until next time, without fear or animus, it's SJG Perspective. You guys have a great night. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Say goodbye to Allah. Allah.